If choosing the right tablet is confusing or frustrating, you're not alone. When most people buy a tablet, they make at least one of these mistakes and end up either spending more money than they need to upfront, or they end up having to replace the tablet that they got because they bought the wrong one. So this tablet buying guide will help you make the right choice, and thank you to Best Buy for sponsoring this video. Now, regardless of which brand you pick, one of the first things you need to consider is the size of the tablet, and that comes down to what you plan on doing and where. Now, if you plan on always keeping this tablet at home, then portability isn't really a concern, and a larger tablet will give you a bigger display for watching movies. When you're surfing the web or using various apps, you'll be able to see more at once without having to scroll. And if you're multitasking, you'll be able to have several apps open at the same time without being cramped for space. At the same time, a larger tablet is less convenient to bring with you, especially once you add a case or a keyboard case and it becomes bigger and heavier. Now, a smaller tablet is obviously going to be more portable, which is a huge bonus, especially if you end up traveling with it a lot. But you need to make sure that it offers enough added functionality over your phone to justify spending money on it. And speaking of money, a mistake that I see people make all the time is overpaying for a tablet or automatically thinking that they need the most expensive tablet that a brand makes. Now look, if money is not an issue for you and you want to make sure that you're getting the latest and greatest features, and you know that if you got a mid-range tablet, you'll constantly second guess your choice, then by all means, go ahead and buy the most expensive one. But if you're like me, then you only want to spend money on features and benefits that actually add value for what you plan on doing. So for example, a tablet with a better camera system or a LiDAR scanner is only actually better if you plan on using those features. Like, I pretty much always use the camera system on my phone, so a better rear-facing camera system on a tablet isn't really a huge selling point. Another example is faster transfer speeds with an upgraded port. That's important if you move a lot of files to and from your tablet, but it's not super meaningful for the average users. Now, on the other hand, a good front-facing camera could be important to you if you use your tablet a lot for video calls. On the opposite side of the spectrum, I see some people buying the absolute cheapest tablets. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a budget model. It could mean just buying the lowest storage option of a flagship model. Now, I'll come back to storage in just a moment, but when you're looking at various features, specs, and storage options, I would prefer for you to buy a little more than what you actually need right now instead of not getting enough. Otherwise, as soon as your needs change even a little bit, you already have to spend more money and upgrade. Now, I end every video by saying buy it nice or buy it twice. So I truly hope that my reviews, comparisons, and guides help you buy products that will fit your budget now and will also work for you in the future. This is not to say that budget tablets don't have their place. So a lot of situations where they're the perfect fit. So for example, if you're getting the first tablet for a kid, then there's nothing wrong with an entry-level tablet. Just make sure that it can run the apps and the games that they want. Another choice that confuses buyers is display type and refresh rate. Look, when it comes to displays, you're gonna have things like Super AMOLED, LCD, and then you'll hear Apple calling their displays Retina, Liquid Retina, and Liquid Retina XDR. A lot of these terms can get confusing. Now, if you want to learn more about any specific tablets, then I have a ton of dedicated reviews and detailed comparisons on the channel, but let's go back to what you plan on using this tablet for. If it's for office work, then the type of display doesn't really matter. They pretty much will all work. But I would be interested in higher resolution so that I can fit more content on the screen at once. Now, if you want to watch movies or play games, then I would prioritize a colorful and crisp display. I would also consider display brightness if you plan on using it outside or in areas where you may have to deal with reflections. Now, finally, if you're using the tablet to edit photos or videos, then color accuracy would be one of the most important features. When it comes to refresh rate, most displays are either 60 Hz or 120 Hz. Now, this is a measurement of how many times the display refreshes every second. Now, a higher number means a more responsive user experience with fluid animation and smoother scrolling. At the same time, the additional refresh rate means that you're using up more of the battery. Now, some tablets have an adaptive 120 Hz refresh rate, meaning that they can automatically use the higher refresh rate when you need it. And then when you don't, they can lower it and save on battery life. And this is sort of like having the best of both worlds. The next mistake buyers make is expecting a basic tablet to completely replace a laptop. And it's important to have realistic expectations here. If you just use your laptop to surf the web, to do emails, social media, and then watch some video and use maybe some web-based applications, then it shouldn't be a problem. But even the majority of tablets that can use an external monitor, keyboard, and a mouse don't run desktop apps, and they don't have a robust file management system. So the user experience isn't the same. Now, if you want a tablet with an actual desktop operating system and you're looking to do even more with a powerful and ultra versatile device, then you should check out the Microsoft Surface Pro 8 at today's sponsor, Best Buy. And the Surface Pro 8 combines the flexibility of a tablet with the power of a laptop, and without having to adapt your workflow to a mobile operating system. So you can install and use all the same apps that you have on your Windows desktop with the same functions, file management, and settings that you're already familiar with. It has a 13-inch 120 Hz touchscreen display, and it has a built-in kickstand so you can always position it at just the right angle. You can pair it with the Surface Pro Signature keyboard with Slim Pen 2, and now you have a keyboard and a trackpad, so you can use the Surface Pro 8 as a complete laptop replacement while also adding protection for the display during transport. Now, if you want to take handwritten notes or if you want to draw, the Surface Slim Pen 2 provides a very similar feel to pen and paper, and it can be stored and wirelessly charged in a dedicated slot on the keyboard. So check out the Microsoft Surface Pro 8 at Best Buy, and thank you to Best Buy for sponsoring this video. I talked about storage earlier on, but one of the most common mistakes that I see people make is not getting enough storage. Now, some tablets allow you to expand the internal storage with a micro SD card slot, and some of them don't. So that's probably the first thing that you should find out. Now, if the tablet that you choose doesn't allow you to expand the storage, then just remember that you're stuck with the amount of storage that you buy for as long as you keep that tablet. So make sure that you have enough storage for what you need now and what you'll need in the foreseeable future. Now, if you only use your tablet to stream content and to play a few games and maybe surf the web, you can get by with 64 gigabytes. But if you're doing any more than that, then I would definitely try to get more storage, especially if you plan on keeping your tablet for a long time. The flagship tablets, for example, have plenty of processing power, so you don't want to run into a situation where after a year of use, you already run out of storage and you have to replace a perfectly good tablet. Now, another common mistake I see buyers make is thinking that they always need to buy a brand new tablet. Some users want premium features like a high-end display or just a larger display, but they don't necessarily need the latest chip. Now, in those cases, getting a great deal on last year's model can give them the features that they want without having to pay a premium for the additional capabilities they don't plan on using. Now, another mistake that I see is not considering the audio features. Some tablets come with 2 speakers, but both of them are on the bottom. So when you hold the tablet in landscape mode, the audio only comes out to one side. Now, other tablets come with 2 speakers, but you get one on each side. And then there are tablets that come with 4 speakers, which give you the fullest sound and the best audio quality. This isn't only valuable when you're watching videos, but also when you're playing games where it's important to be able to detect which direction sounds are coming from. Now, finally, some tablets also come with a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can use a wired headphone or a gaming headset without needing an adapter. So this next one I get a lot of questions about, and it's whether to get the Wi-Fi or cellular model. Now, essentially the decision comes down to whether you need to use your tablets in situations where you don't have Wi-Fi at all, or you don't have Wi-Fi that you trust because of privacy issues. Now, in the rare situations where that happens to me, I always tether off my phone, so I never buy the cellular models of tablets. But if this is something that happens to you all the time and you're okay with paying an additional fee for a dedicated data plan for your tablet, then a cellular model is a good fit. Now, another important consideration is OS-specific apps. So some apps are available for Android but not for iPad OS, and vice versa. For example, if you want to use Procreate, you have to buy an iPad because there's no Android version of it. Now, there are other great options for Android, but if you specifically need Procreate, you don't have a choice, you need to get an iPad. Some games, for example PUBG, scale better on iPad OS, so they look better on larger iPads than they do on larger Android tablets. So before you make your choice, think about whether or not there are apps or games that are absolutely critical to you, and then make sure that they work the way that you want on the tablet that you get. Now, battery life can also be extremely important for some users, especially if you use your tablet in a lot of situations where you don't have the opportunity to charge it during the day. Now, I've done battery charging tests on iPads and Samsung tablets, so if you're interested in seeing how they compare, I'll link to these two tests at the end of this video and in the description. Now, another mistake that I see being made all the time is not thinking about the stylus. So some tablets are compatible with a stylus that you can use to draw or take handwritten notes. And then some tablets just aren't. Now, on top of that, in some cases, the stylus is included with the price of the tablet, and in other cases, you have to buy it separately. So keep that in mind when you're comparing prices. Now, each stylus also has a completely different feel to it, both in your hands and when it touches the glass. So if you have the chance, go to the store and try it out before you buy it. The next mistake I see buyers make is not thinking long term. Now, each user is different. Some are able to upgrade their tablet every year, and for them, it's only important that the tablet does what they need right now. But most people want to get more value from their purchases and they keep their tablets for as long as possible. This is where long-term operating system support and security updates are very important. So take a look at how many years your tablet will continue to receive updates for, and then keep that in mind when you make your decision. Another element here is resale or trade-in value. So some tablets are known for keeping their value long-term or for offering great trade-in value. So if you plan on upgrading in a few years, you can sell or trade in your previous tablet and then use that money for the upgrade. Hopefully this video was helpful. Watch one of these battery drain tests, click on my face to subscribe. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.